Welcome back to my channel. I'm Will Photo. I'm your uncle's turtle's favorite piece of lettuce's favorite photographer. So if you didn't know that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on another video. As you can see, kind of changed up the camera angle a little bit, and I wanted you to get closer to my face and see this nasty thing on my head, and then, you know, just all my gross features on my face on your YouTube screen. In all seriousness, I'm kind of afraid that I forgot to record this video. And I am recording. I'm still building this YouTube channel, and I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do, and every single day I'm trying something new. So I want to try a new camera angle, see how I like it, see how you guys respond to it. People that I love to watch: Peter McKinnon, obviously amazing photographer. He's always got the close-up and then shit blurred out in the background. And you know, I love having shit blurred out in the background. Wide apertures are, I love the wide apertures. I kind of want to try something new. So yeah, I don't know. If you like the new angle, if you like this close-up shit, go ahead and drop a comment below. Say, new angle is fire. Before we hop into the meat of this video, I also want to say, this whiteboard, I have an idea for it. It's for like ideas and writing shit down for me, like in titles of the videos and stuff. And I don't know the title of this video yet, so I don't have anything written on the board. Which is okay. But what I want to do is I want to write down my subscribers' names up there. One subscriber per video. Do like a shout out to the subscriber, a thank you to a subscriber. So, okay, like my dumbass was trying to say in this video, and I didn't get that across while I was filming, so I have to do this. Go turn on post notifications, and when you did that, comment that you turned post notifications on. I will pick out of the people who do that, and I will give you a little shout out in the beginning of this video, just as a way to say thank you to you guys. So yeah, we're going to continue with this video. Hopefully I shouldn't be back here having to explain myself. Comment below and I'll pick one of you guys that comments, and your name will go up there, and I'll give you a little shout out in the beginning of the video. Hopefully you think that's a cool idea. I want to, you know, interact with you guys as much as I can. That's my goal. That's why I started all of this, is to interact with everyone and help people become better photographers, and that is what we're going to do in this video. As you probably saw in the thumbnail, I'm going to show you how to take this photo, this starting photo, and turn it into this photo. So we're going to go step by step. I'm going to take you through my process in Lightroom, and then we're going to take you through my process in Affinity Photo. I'm going to show you every single step I do to this photo, and hopefully it will help you take your photos to the next level. I guess, without further ado, let's hop up into Lightroom. Alright, so we have our photo opened in Lightroom. When I edit my photos, basically what I do is I just start. I go with the vibe that I want to go. I have a basic editing style, but it doesn't necessarily follow the same things every single time I edit a photo. That's why you see over here I don't really have many presets. We're just going to go back. Obviously I saved the preset for this photo, but I'm going to go in and do every single step, every single adjustment, one by one, and explain what I'm doing. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to go to profile, and this is where I always start when I edit. I select the profile. Every single camera has different camera profiles, so mine right here, if you go down past all the Adobe profiles, you have camera profiles. When I edit my photos, I do camera clear. I skip the white balance in the beginning. I will come back to that later. So the first thing that I do is I do exposure. Usually I use the sliders, but I have the exact numbers for this edit, so I'm going to punch them in one by one. So for exposure, we're going to bring it down to -1 point. Whoopsie doozy, whoopsie daisy. -1.75. So the exposure's down. Contrast is going to come up to 31. Next, we're going to move the highlights, and highlights are going to be the sky, and obviously any highlights that are showing on the car, we're going to bring them down to -44. Now, this photo is pretty dark, so we need to get these shadows up. These are going to be the shadows right here in front of the car, so we're going to bring the shadows up to 84. Now the photo is well exposed. You can see the before and after. Right now, the sky is not as blown out as it was. So now we're going to move to whites, and we're going to put these at 28. And we're going to bring the blacks up as well to 38. Now that we have the photo perfectly exposed with these basic tools, now we can start adding texture, tone, and give the photo the vibe that you want to give it. Texture, I always turn my texture up, and it is going to go to 23. And I always turn my clarity up too, and it's going to go to 19. And you can see that added more texture to the water droplets on the hood of the car. Vibrance, I usually most likely for every single photo I turn it down. So we're going to go negative 56 just to take the vibrance down a little bit to give it a nice creepy looking vibe. I always leave saturation. Saturation I never touch. If I want to saturate colors, I do it in the HSL sliders, which you will see later. Like I said, we will hop back up to the white balance later. We're going to move to tone curve for now. The tone curve is another way to adjust your highlights, shadows, and blacks. Learning to use it is kind of difficult, but if you just mess around with it, you're going to understand it. You can play with your highlights and bring them down, shift them. You can also mess with your shadows down here. Shift those as well. For most of my photos, what I like to do is create an S or a backwards S on the tone curve. So I'm going to pull my shadows down a little bit with a dot right here. Bring it down just a tad. Now I'm going to go up to the highlights part and bring the highlights up just a little bit to give this photo more contrast and more color definition. So now we're going to move on from the tone curve and we're going to go to the HSL sliders. Now here's where I'm going to mess with the grass color and make the grass color yellow. I'm going to go to the green and turn it all the way to negative 100 because I don't want any green in this photo. I want to keep green out. And for this one I have negative 23, the yellows. And that's it for the hue, so now we're going to move to saturation. One thing I keep out of my photos is blues, and you can see in the windshield there's some blues reflecting from the sky that was kind of blue. So in the aqua color, we're going to take it down to negative 14, and then in the blue, we're going to go negative 12. Now we also are going to turn the saturation down in the greens to negative 64. And then I'm going to turn the yellows up to 30, and that will add more yellow in the photo. You can see small corrections make a big difference. Here's the before, that one, and the after. Now we need to move to the luminance. I'm going to mess with the orange, and I'm going to take it up to 25. And then the yellow, I'm going to take up to 17. Green, I'm going to turn it down to 38. And the blues, if you bring your luminance of your blues up, it will take the blues to more of a white color. And I'm going to take those up to 17 and 8. Here's before the HSL tab, and here is after. So you can see I messed with the colors in the grass and some colors up in the windows. Now we need to move on to split toning. So split toning, you can add colors in your highlights and colors in your shadows. So for the highlights, the hue that we're going to be using for this one is 37, and then the saturation of this color is going to be 11. Now we're going to move to shadow, and the hue of this one is 215. And the saturation is 7. Now, like I said, I'll just reiterate again, when I'm making these edits and adjustments, I do go in here and I just mess around and get the color that I like, but I want to get this edit as close as possible to the original one. Balance is really cool. You can balance how much you want the shadows to overtake the photo or how much you want the highlights to. So for this one, we're going to go 35. It's going to be more yellow than blue. And that's just how I like this photo. We're going to move down to camera calibration. And right here, you're going to mess with the red primary, the green primary, and the blue primary. What these do is they basically can tone your picture differently. You can add different tones, and you just want to dial it into the way that you want it. I look at these sliders as a way to add more colors and more tones to your photos. So right here, the blue hue, we're going to go negative 23. And that's going to bring out some oranges and colors in the grass, and turn the blues to like more of an aqua color. Now we're going to readjust that with this green hue, and we're going to turn it to 12, which will kind of counteract that, and then we're going to go to the red and we're going to go 18. And you can probably barely see the difference, but here's the before and here's the after. It adds a small difference, but now as you can see, small differences, tons of small differences make a large difference in the photo. Now we're going to do one last step, which is go back up to our white balance, and my temp for this photo 5,484, and I left the tint alone. So this photo is now done in Lightroom. There's the before and here's the after. Now we need to hop into my second program, which is going to be Affinity Photo, and we need to add some lights and we need to remove all of the junk in the background to clean this photo up. Guys, one more thing I just forgot. So we're back in Lightroom. I forgot that I added a gradient filter to this edit. So you can see how exposed the sky was, and when you add a gradient filter down on it, turn the exposure and the highlights down, it's going to darken the sky so you can see the sky more. This way you can keep the car nice exposed and take the exposure of the sky down. Now we're gonna hop into Affinity Photo. Alright, so now we have the photo opened in Affinity Photo. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I use Affinity Photo over Photoshop. I do like this app a little bit better than Photoshop, surprisingly. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the in-painting brush tool, which is this tool right here. One thing that I do in my photos is I kind of start with the backgrounds. I'm going to delete all the shit in the background that I think is distracting and that is unnecessary to be in my photos, so you can watch me do that in fast motion right now. Alright, now we got to get rid of this tree because it's kind of sticking out of the middle of nowhere and I do not like it. And then since that one was just sky, you could really do the whole thing in one motion, but with this one it's going to be a little more difficult, so you're going to have to do every single branch individually. Smaller motions get things done a lot better. Alright, and that looks pretty good to me as far as the tree goes. Now we need to go into the car and touch some things up. So you can see my air freshener. That is going to say goodbye. Now I'm going to go down here, remove the license plate holes because those I don't want in there. I'm a very picky editor and I like to have my photos looking perfect. So that is about as far as I'm going to go removing things. Now we need to talk about how to get these lights to light up. Right over here I have a picture that didn't turn out as well. Now what happened with all of this was that I had a shutter speed that was too high right now at this moment to capture both these lights being on at the same time. And that's why I ended up just turning the lights off for this photo in general, and I was going to add lights back. So right here we're going to use this light as a sample light to put on the car. First, what I need to do is get rid of these water droplets because I don't want to carry these over into the photo. And then second, after we do all of this, we're going to select these lights the best that we can. Now don't worry about getting it perfect because you can always fix it when you get it over there into the next photo. So all we're going to do is select these lights, select them as best as you can. After we get them selected, we're going to take them and copy them and paste them into this photo. So now we got them over here. We're going to line it up to exactly where they should be on this car. It is okay to distort these because they're not from this original car, so you can distort them a little bit to get them perfect to exactly where you need them. Now that I have them pretty much lined up exactly where I want them, I need to go and fix this stuff up here because those aren't perfect and they need to be perfectly lined up. So I'm going to take the eraser tool, make it as small as I can with being able to control it well, and just take these down below the hood line and we'll get it perfectly lined up to the hood so that they just look a little bit better. I'm going to leave this little knob right here because it kind of cuts into the hood, and that's how it's supposed to look. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to click it over just a tad, down a little bit, one more, and we're going to go down, take this off. That looks really good to me. So now we're going to copy it and paste it again one more time. We're going to drag it over to this side, and then if you right click, you go down to transform and you flip horizontally, it should fit pretty close to over here. Now you're going to want to grab the perspective tool, match it up to the lights that are already there. That's where it becomes easy. And now this one's nice and cut perfectly for this side, so all you have to do is match it up and it should be perfect. And there you go. The lights are now on the car and they're looking really good. So that is the final photo. That's how I achieved the whole look. That's how I went start to finish to getting this whole photo done. Every single time I edit a photo, I go through Lightroom and then Affinity Photo. And like I said, Affinity Photo is my choice for Photoshop editing. I hope you found that tutorial useful. Basically, you know, I want to help you guys learn. I got a few comments, a few DMs about, you know, getting that photo up there and showing you guys exactly how I did that edit. So that's that edit start to finish. You know, it goes all the way through Lightroom and then through Photoshop. I am a spaz when it comes to editing things out of the backgrounds of photos. That's how I make the photo mine, and that's just what I do to every single photo. I hope that adding the lights tutorial helped as well. I think that's another cool thing. You know, you can either do it with the lights or without. Always adding in lights is always a possibility. You can see I did it right here, and it looks like the lights were literally on the car. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you're not already subscribed, I would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. That would mean the world to me. If you have any suggestions, any further videos, anything you want me to explain more in depth, go ahead and comment it below. I appreciate every single person watching. Just a quick tutorial for you guys on this Tuesday afternoon. I hope you benefited from that. Thank you so much for watching the whole thing. I will see you guys Friday. Keep shooting. I hope you guys all have an amazing day. I'll see you later.